All right, guys, welcome back to part number 4. We've been graced with another beautiful day. We've been really lucky on this project to have had 4 days of good weather to work with, despite it being winter. When we arrived on this project together, the first thing we saw was a hole behind the head wall of this culvert. That hole was caused by water erosion. We first dug in and we identified the issue. We found some wood in here, several eroded sections behind the wall, which we completely excavated out and replaced with good material, packing it in 6-inch or so lifts and reestablishing that ground. We also put in a drainage system using perforated 4-inch corrugated pipe, which drains across this road to this side, getting the water out from behind this head wall, helping stop any further erosion. We topped off the roadside edge with railroad ballast to keep the edge from eroding, and we covered that drainage system with the 3/4 gravel, which will filter out any dirt or contaminants, let the water into that perforated pipe, draining it away. So today on part number 4, super simple. All we've got to do is top coat this section of the road that we've been working on. Started out as a good road, but now we're back down to dirt due to the excavation process. So what was left of our ballast, we put in the middle of the road over where that pipe is, the area that's susceptible to sinking and compaction. We use the excavator to drive back and forth to compact it. So hopefully now when we back the dump truck in, we don't just sink it to the axle and get stuck. So that's it for today. We're just going to be hauling road bond. And this road is kind of a bowl shape right now, so we're going to start out dumping the material in a short 25-foot section, and then with each load we bring, we're going to go a little bit farther. So it's going to go down a little bit thinner, but we're going to raise this road bed up to where we're not coming downhill going back uphill. It's going to come down and almost have a flat bridge, which we're going to dome shape to shed the water off. That way this road section doesn't hold water, get soft, sink and erode. So thanks for being back here, guys. Let's knock this thing out. That'll do. That came out pretty good. Material's not too wet, so it should spread good today. The reason after I spread, I usually back up over top of it is just to go ahead and give it an initial, little bit of compaction. When we get back with the next load, we'll get the excavator cranked and warmed up, and then while it's warming up, we'll put the next lift down, and then we'll use the excavator to smooth this out and get it compacted, and then probably go get 3, 4, maybe even 5 more loads. So let's get to it. All right, let's go ahead and touch up the first load, then we'll get the second load out. We'll let that machine warm up for a few minutes. So while the machine's warming up, let me just give you guys a couple of fundamentals of what I look for when I'm picking a line for driving my excavator to set my grade. So obviously, you've got a low side of the road over here, so if you drop a track off this side, the machine's going to drop this way. If I put one track here and one track here, you're going to be pretty level. So what we want to do is kind of crown this part of the road. Half the water will go this way, half the water will go that way. So the first pass that I make, I'm going to drop one track close to this side, pitch it a little bit this way, and then when I back up and come back on this side, I'm actually going to drop one track all the way over here. So you guys will get to see, I'll record both videos, and you'll get to see how I pick my lines and adjust the pitch of the road. Okay, also one other thing to be looking for, I don't want to throw too much at you guys that are just learning this and trying to learn from these videos, but all of this comes together when you're trying to move material from one place where it's not needed to a place where it is needed. For example, we've got a big mound of material right here. It just didn't come out of the truck. completely evenly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my blade height probably about 4 inches from where the old road bed is. That way it deposits 4 inches of material as we're coming forward. Now when I get to this spot, you guys are going to notice it collect this big lump of material. I could do two things. I could keep continuing straight, leaving my blade level, and deposit that material farther up this way, which I don't really need at this point in the project. What I do need is material right here. Now we don't have an angle blade to convince that material to go that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect material and bring it to this point, right across from where we need it, and then we can use the bucket on the excavator to take that pile of material and swing it to the other side. You guys can see how it's collecting that material. Now we actually do have two choices. I could twist the machine a little bit and move that blade to that direction, but if I do that, when I twist, the tracks are going to mess up the grate behind me. So instead we're just going to push forward and use the boom and the bucket to transfer that material to the other side. Here's one little tidbit of information. The excavator's sitting on the grade that I want it to. So as long as I set that bucket to match the height of the graded material, and that's one reason I backed up a little bit, is so there's a spot. Let me just show you guys here. You can see we have ungraded ground. We have graded ground right there. You can see it's smooth and it's on grade and it's on a pitch that I want. What I'm going to do is actually set this bucket about 3 inches higher than that compacted spot, because once we move this material and we drive across it, it's going to compact down to grade. So all we got to do, like I said, leave that bucket about 2 to 3 inches higher than where I want that ground to compact down to, and just swing it around. Don't even worry about what's ahead of you when you're swinging, other than people. You don't want to hit somebody, but don't look at this ground and try to grade that. You know, just start out a little bit and start swinging, push that material, and if there's still a pile of material up from it, then you can decide whether to push it out with the blade or move that material to the other side. All right, let me grab you guys off the stand here and show you. Luckily, in a spot like this, it's easy to get down below the grade, so you can see right here, you got graded ground, and then you can see where we've started getting back into the rough. Now I'll put you guys on the stand. We'll just track the machine over. I'm not even going to push material yet. We're just going to track that in and see where we stand as far as grade goes. I know for you guys this may be tedious and even boring to people who are experienced, but for people who are trying to learn this stuff, this is important. All right, so we tracked forward and you can see how it starts pitching up. Now we're compacted. And the most important thing is where our tracks are going is where car tires are going to track. So now what we're going to do is put that blade down with the top even with the center of the road. Not the compacted, but the center. We're going to just put the blade down till it just skims, and we're going to push all that extra material out. If I don't fall and bust my tail first. All right, now we'll throw this side on grade. right, that's going great. We are getting this road in the shape we want. What I'm doing every time I'm moving back and forth, I'm looking for low spots, high spots, unevenness. And like right here is a prime example. You might be able to see this is a bowl. That's something that would hold water. So what we've got to do is find a spot where we have extra material that it's not going to hurt us to take material away from it. Now at the same time we're doing all this, we've got to keep our road dome shaped. So at no point do I want to get right in the middle and start back dragging, because that's going to flatten our road out and cause it to start holding water. So anytime I've got to pull material, I've got to stay off to one side or the other to keep from messing my grade up. So since we're on this side, we want to see where we can pull material from. Obviously up here we've got a surplus, we've got extra material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center my machine on this side of the road, and I'm going to put my blade down, and I'm going to listen until I start hearing kind of a grinding, crunching sound of that blade dragging across the top of this. And then I'm just going to bump it down a little bit until I start seeing it gather material behind that blade. And I'm just going to back drag it all the way to the end. And then as soon as I go across that low spot, you'll see me raise that blade up. Coming down to the fun parts. Get you guys off this stand. Now parts of this are just going to come with experience as you guys do these things and get used to it. Let me carry you across to the other side here so you guys can see a little different perspective of what is happening. All right, let's get down low here. You can see this side slopes off, that side slopes that way. And once we start tracking back and forth on the final passes, it's going to become more and more dome shaped. Now one thing that's fairly important that you guys need to see is something I do is I taper an edge here. Coming down this road, water's going to hit this high spot and it's going to follow this little lip off to the side of the road, helping divide the amount of water that's hitting this at any one time. So now that we've got everything on grade, the rest of the job becomes fairly simple, especially since this material is starting to dry out as the day goes by. It'll get easier and easier to tailgate evenly. So each lift from here on out just has to be tailgated. As long as it comes out of the truck evenly, there's no more grading to be done. Let's go get some more material. All right guys, so we're down to what I think will be our last load of material. What we have is about 10 feet on either end of our newly constructed top coat of the driveway. So what we want to do is taper it out. What I'm going to do is get the dump truck backed up just a little bit past where I actually want to start spreading. And we'll adjust our chains, and I'll go over how we're going to tailgate this to make it blend. Okay, so I won't get into all the specifics of how we tailgate material with a dump truck, but today specifically I've been running in the 14th link, which means I start counting from here and I count the number of links, and when the tailgate opens, this latch will only let the tailgate come open so far. But we actually want it to go down thinner, so we could leave our chains the same and just drive faster as we tailgate, or we can tighten it up, drive the same speed as before, and it'll have the same effect. Once you do this so many times, you'll get to where you can visualize how thick you want the material to go down. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to tighten this up to link number 13 on both sides. You got a chain on each side here. And I'm also going to drive faster than I have before. and that'll get this stuff down to the material thickness that I want to, and this same load of material will go farther than previous loads of the same tonnage. Now when you're first starting to tailgate, if you're on fairly flat ground, for the most part, especially a single axle, you can raise the bed up to where the bottom of the bed is about 1 foot higher than your cab. I tend to go 2 feet higher. It does make you more top heavy, but as long as the road is smooth, it's not going to get you to swaying side to side enough to turn you over. We showed that vine who was boss, didn't we? Take his excavator up there and rip it on down. Guys, where you can see what's left of this operation. It's coming along pretty good, I think. One for that line. It messes up too bad though. Perfect. Now we'll just taper these ends and track it in. Alright guys, that concludes this little project. It took us 4 parts, 4 different videos to go through the whole thing together, but it's been a fun little journey. I'd love it if you guys would drop in the comments, those of you who are experienced, who have done this kind of thing or have studied on it, and tell us different ways that you would have done it and maybe ways you think it would have been better. I am definitely not above learning something new, and with your ideas, there'll be future videos of me doing these things in different ways. Thank you guys for joining me, and have a great day.